If you've got an expensive calculation to make in the function body of your component, then useMemo is the hero you need. So here I give you a little bit of background on this and how to use the API so that you are all ready to make the code changes that you need to make. But you're going to find that there are not many code changes you need to make. In fact, there's just one right here. It's really quite simple. So most of the time, you're going to be using the developer tools so you can identify situations when useMemo and its sibling useCallback are necessary. So I give you a blog post about those two hooks and when you might want to use them, but I want you to profile this particular experience here. So we can search through cities, we can say Salt Lake City, and you may have noticed as I was typing this that it's not very responsive. That's the performance problem that we're talking about. And I want you to use the developer tools to figure out what it is about this experience that makes it so poor for performance. So if I open up the isolated page here and then open up my developer tools, then I can go to not the React profiler, we'll get to that eventually. We're going to go to the performance tab. And this is going to allow me to record performance profiling stats on the experience that I'm going to execute here. And so this is going to show me all sorts of things. And one thing that you might want to do is set the CPU to 6x slowdown here so that you can simulate a mobile browser or somebody on a lower end machine who's not using like the tech monster that you're using. And then we'll hit record and then we'll do some sort of interaction. So you can hit force re-render or you can highlight an item or whatever you want to do there. And then you hit stop and you can see screenshots of what's going on at that point in time. And you can also, if we move that down, you can see this really wild looking flame graph. And you can move around this by holding down the shift key and scrolling to go up and down. And if you let go of the shift key and scroll, that's going to zoom for you. And you can also click and drag up here and that's going to zoom for you as well. And you may also notice that you have timings here, and these timings are actually executed by React, so you can get an idea of what is it that is happening here. We've got a menu update, that's our menu component right here that's happening, and that is taking a long time for one reason or another. And so you can use this to determine what the browser is doing that's making this janky experience. And so most of this exercise is you spending time identifying the bottlenecks in our experience. And specifically, the thing that we're going to be optimizing here is this experience. So what I want you to do is click on one of these items. So we'll say Edna, and that will update our text input here. And then you're going to hit record. And then without doing anything else, don't highlight anything or whatever, just click force re-render. And then stop the recording. And you'll notice this red spot right here. You'll also notice one that starts at the beginning, and quite frankly, I'm not sure why that shows up. It always shows up, and it doesn't make any sense to me why that is happening. But you'll notice this red line right here, and that's when we actually clicked that force re-render button. And I want you to find out what is it about this flame graph that's making that experience so slow, and can you solve that particular performance problem with useMemo. That's the goal of this particular exercise, and then you can take it further by the extra credit. So you'll want to run in production mode, and if you want to, you can run the build and serve it locally, or if you want to, you can look at the production deploy and pull up the dev tools there, and then also take a look at putting this get items function into a web worker. This gives you a quick little introduction to that, and then you can be off to the races in putting some of this more expensive logic in a web worker. That one's pretty fun. I think you'll enjoy that. And then we'll see you on the other side of the exercise.